This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings everyone and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. As you can see, I'm wearing my costume as it's Halloween time. So of course, during the scary season, we're going to be doing a few scary themed videos, maybe some scary themed reviews, and of course, all of the pickups are going to be horror and Halloween related. Nothing but the Halloweeniest of Halloween content for you, my fair viewers. So let's get started by talking about some pickups, and I've got a lot. So I'm going to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Alright, so our first is a Charles Band, and we're going to be dealing with some Charles Band stuff here. And this one here is Doll Graveyard. Now Full Moon is all about the little dolls that they use, the stop motion animation dolls. But let's talk a little bit about this. It's 1905 when 12-year-old Sophia plays all by herself in her big creepy house with only 4 handmade dolls as friends. When her abusive father has finally had enough, he forces her to bury them in the backyard. But after she slips and breaks her neck, Dad buries her right along with the dolls. 100 years later, the Philbrook family moves into the very same house. Guy Philbrook finds the buried dolls while playing in the backyard. Much like Sophia, Guy has no friends and the constant source of harassment from Tom and Rich. After Sophia's spirit possesses the dolls, they come to life, protecting Guy from further harm. One night, Guy's sister Dee Dee has a party, and her best friends Terry and Olivia, after smoking and drinking with the boys, the dolls stand up for Guy once and for all. So, this is interesting. I got this on one of the full moon sales. It was probably no more than $5 at the time. And a lot of times, full moon is usually a good time. It may not be the best of times. It may not be the most, what do they call it, high art of times. But it is a fun time. It's usually a good time. And because of that, I did want to give this a try. I do like some of the stuff I have watched from Full Moon. I need to just watch a bunch of Full Moon stuff. I just, time. So, next up, from SCS Entertainment, we have Doll Killer and Doll Killer Part 2. So we can look at those right there. So you've met Chucky, the killer doll. Now meet Charlie Crandall, the doll killer. From the grim urban squalor, a tortured man is compelled to murder women and leaves dolls at each of the crime scenes. Is this as it seems, or is something more sinister behind the killing spree? Doll restoration artist Stephanie is about to find out when she is stalked during her week of Halloween, 1987. So, when I see Meat Hook Massacre mentioned, when we talked about Stephanie, basically Brianna Steer, we actually do see this. I am not sure. It is a micro-budget feature, so who knows? Maybe I'll cover it sooner or then later. I have to like them before I will cover them, unless somebody really wants me to do it unseen. The director is Jesus Satan, which I don't know much about this dude, but I think I supported a Kickstarter for some of the work. I mean, this one's of course being a sequel, so you know. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at these eventually, see how they hold up, see what they do. I mean, they're not long features. One's 62 minutes, one's 60 minutes. We'll see how Doll Killer holds up in the end. So we go from micro-budget to more mainstream-ish horror, more like B-stream horror. And we get to Dolly Dearest, which comes from Vinegar Syndrome. This one, no doubt, got on one of the Black Friday sales that I usually get from. American family, Elliot and Marilyn Wade, along with their young children, Jessica and Jimmy, have just relocated to Mexico, where Elliot has taken over a doll factory. As they settle into their fresh surroundings, Jessica forms a special bond with her new doll, spending hours with it in the large playhouse. But soon her mother and older brother sense that something isn't quite right with the sweetly faced toy. It's not long before strange and frightening events start to occur, and members of the household begin turning up dead. So this kind of has that Chucky vibe to it in a way, I guess. I have heard of Dolly Dearest, which is probably why I picked it up. I have yet to see Dolly Dearest, which is, you know, sad, I guess, but what can you do, really? I am very curious about it. So this one's definitely on, although they're all on my list, that's why I got them. I'm not going to look at any like, yeah, I bought this because I hate it. I'm not that kind of person. If Thelma ever comes up on a Blu-ray release, I will not support it. So this is another one of those full moon grabs, probably again for very cheap during one of their sales, which is Don't Let Her In. I was trying to get a bunch of it, scoop it up. This is back when I was doing a lot of stuff. We were on Schlockaholics. I was working with Mo, and, you know, we were going to do a lot of full moon coverage. Never worked out. And it just didn't work out, but maybe one day we'll do more full moon coverage and it'll come in. So, again, I haven't seen a lot of the full moon stuff. I was more on the Empire train when I was younger, but still, when an attractive young couple, Ben and Amber, rent out a room in their spacious loft to Serena, an eccentric, beautiful female artist, they soon live to regret it. Slowly but surely, their seductive new tenant invades their minds, their beds, and very fabric of their lives. When Amber finds herself pregnant, the lovers begin to suspect that the fetus growing within her womb is something more than human, something evil, and that Serena has been sent on a maternal mission from hell itself. So this is by the people who did Subspecies, the director of Subspecies. I haven't watched Subspecies either. I know I'm a bad full moon person, but I need to do that. I need to just take one season and just watch nothing but full moon and just, you know, break a lot of those things. Because I've only really watched a lot of the Puppet Master and stuff like that. So speaking of stuff related to that, we have Doom Asylum. Now this is an Arrow release. We have a couple Arrow releases here, and I think this is pretty cool looking. So, when a group of horny teens wind up on the grounds of a creepy abandoned asylum, they think they've found the perfect place to party. Little do they know that inside the building's crumbling wall lurks a freakishly deformed maniac, driven to madness by a tragic loss of his fiancée. With an array of grisly surgical tools at his disposal, it's only a matter of time before the youngsters start to meet vicious, splattery deaths. So, you've got some interesting pedigrees here, with the director who did Scared Stiff, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, which is one of Pauly Shore's first roles, and the star of Frankenhooker. So, it's interesting. I like the look of it. I probably got it on a sale, and it was probably something that people said, yeah, get this. So I got it. We'll see if it's any good. It's kind of weird that I have not watched any of these except for one. And I'm going to save that one for last because it is different from the rest. So the next one I got from the Arrow sale that came out a while back was Dream Demon. Look at that nice cover. That's kind of a cool looking cover there. A young bride-to-be's anxieties over her upcoming wedding take on a horrifying demonic form in this underseen 1988 shocker from the director Harley Coklis from Black Moon Rising, starring Timothy Spall and Gemma Redgrave. Now rescued from obscurity and a brand new director's cut. So, again, it looked cool. I do like I say, I'm kind of getting off of buying things unseen, but I still have an entire wall worth of stuff that I have bought unseen, mixed with stuff I bought with purpose. And I really think that this is the second phase that comes towards ending a collector's collection, which I will talk about that as we go. Actually, that's going to be a future video, is the stages of a movie collector, from the beginnings to the ends where it snuffs out. Not always, but it can. And, I think I'm at stage, 3 of that, where, I'm being more selective about what I buy. I still buy stuff on a fairly regular basis, but I'm a lot more selective. So this would not have been bought normally, but curiosity has it. Now this one I probably would have gotten because I've heard a lot of good things about this, and that is the Dunwich Horror, which I've got an Arrow edition here. Now, Dean Stockwell stars as Wilbur Whatley, a mysterious young man who travels from a small town of Dunwich to the library of Miskatonic University, which holds one of the only copies of the Necronomicon, a legendary book of occult lore that Wilbur hopes to borrow. Graduate student Nancy Wagner falls under his malign... Oh, see, that's blocked by a stamp. But she travels with him back to his home, where Wilbur has plans to use her in rituals to raise the old ones. So we got another Lovecraftian horror here. Of course, we've already seen Miskatonic U, again in other remakes. So I am curious how it works out. This is an older film. I want to say this is what, the 80s, 90s, somewhere in that vein. And I'm always curious about this stuff. I like a lot of the Lovecraftian horror, even though Lovecraft himself was not exactly the best of guys over here. But still, it's a lot of fun to look through these. I do look forward to checking it out. So last one is one I've actually seen. And one I got purely because I wanted to get all of Mel Brooks's filmography. Otherwise, I probably would never have gotten it. And that is his swan song, Dracula, Dead and Loving It. So you got Leslie Nielsen playing as Dracula in a somewhat funny tale that kind of makes fun of a lot of the Dracula legends. I don't know. Mel Brooks has been known to direct a lot of hilarious things. And out of all of them, and I've seen all of his works, and this is by far the least funny and worst written film that he has made. And it makes me sad. I mean, it does get some laughs out. It's not terrible. But it gets me mad. It gets me, well, not mad really. It gets me sad these days. It used to get me mad. But it gets me sad these days because he really should have gone out on a higher rung. I mean, I don't think he's directing Spaceballs 2, and he's nearly 100, and he probably will be 100 by the time the film is done. I would love to see him direct it, just because I'd love to see his name, as far as director-wise, end with something better than what we got here. But sadly, I do believe this is going to be the last thing he's known for director-wise, and but still, you know, it's good to have some of the things in here. It's a good cast. I mean, the late Leslie Nielsen being in there. We've got a couple of others. Amy Yazbek, Lizette Anthony, Peter Nicole, and Harvey Korman. So, you know, maybe I just need to watch it again, and maybe, because I haven't watched it since around the time it came out, and I was 16 when it came out, so that just tells you. But I'd always hoped that he would come out of the semi-retirement and do something better. But we'll see how things happen with Spaceballs 2. The search for more money. Well, that's it for this first in a line of Halloween-themed pickups. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and share. And we'll see you on the next one.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin. SeptumSin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming will rule the world.